the decisions that give you the best chance for success.
Do you believe in 80-20 rule?
I want to make sure that people get a feeling out of it.
I was getting goosebumps.
And if you do that, that makes you less susceptible.
Do you agree that you were an analytical person?
I regularly go through thought experiments.
One SEO myth when you hear it's like, this is bullshit.
In those situations that my competitors believe them, because then there's usually a space to move right into.
I believe SEO industry, I'm telling you guys, did not seem very appealing to me. Why they do not have this?
Links are dead. People really try to out-clever Google, miss the foundational things. Content is dead. I'm way better at SEO than I ever was at website building.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I have a very special guest who doesn't know that he's very important in my life because of his content he's been creating online. It has been very impactful in my life, and thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you for that. That's very kind of you.
And I'm not just saying that, actually it means a lot. And what you've done, you've been always a very happy person in the industry. You've been recognized, and I've always seen you smiling. Even the picture we have, it's the smile tells everything. So your personality is something which is very important for the industry, I would say.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. That's very kind.
Thank you. Moving forward.
Enough of that.
We can always talk about that one. Yeah. I'm not going to cut this. Okay. So can you tell in a short, like, everybody knows about you already. Who doesn't should leave SEO industry, I'm telling you guys. But yes, can you just tell in a very quick brief about yourself? Who's Kyle Roof?
Yeah, so I've been an SEO for the last 12 years. I founded an agency, High Voltage SEO, and out of that, started a SaaS tool, an on-page SEO tool called Page Optimizer Pro. And then I also co-founded a platform for education called IMG Courses.
Can you tell us about the Page Optimizer Pro? It's been in hype since a long time. I've been seeing people talk about it in the conference as well. Can you tell me something about that?
I think it's been the most favorite project I've ever worked on. But the concept is you put your page in that you want to rank. We look at the pages that Google likes, and they make suggestions on how you can do a page that's going to be a little bit better, so that you can outrank them. And really, the idea is that SEO is a game of probability.
Correct.
And you want to make the decisions that give you the best chance for success. And that's kind of the concept behind the tool. Is like, if you make these changes to your page, if you do these things, it gives you what we believe is the best chance for success.
I heard your talk yesterday, and from the title, I would be very honest, it did not seem very much appealing to me. But when it was a very different thing for an SEO. But when I saw it, because it was Kyle Roof, I had to see it. It was a very different perspective altogether, and I must agree that the respect for you after the talk is on another level now.
Okay.
Yeah, but how did you frame that kind of mindset? Can you just tell me a little bit about the talk yesterday?
Yeah, I've been to a million conferences. I think you have as well.
Correct.
No one ever remembers what the speakers say, but they remember how they feel.
Yes.
And then that's, as a speaker, that's something that I'm very cognizant of, and want to make sure that people get a feeling out of it.
Correct.
At the same time, I think you can help people with framework, how you think about things, like, and so all my talks are kind of geared towards how to think about things maybe a little bit differently.
Yes.
How to expand how you're approaching the problems that you're trying to find solutions to. And so that's kind of where the talk really was going, was like, thinking about these things is good, and that's what I was trying to put together with the talk yesterday.
Yes. When you were delivering the talk, and it's pretty much very simple things, but the impact, the way it was spoken, the public speaking, that's a skill I think you've gained with the couple of years you've been doing it, right? Like when you were delivering the speech, I was getting goosebumps, you know.
Oh,
These are simple things, but you know, the way it was said, that was making a lot of sense. And I think I would urge the audience to actually go into your content and actually listen to that perspective. It's not always a, you know, you need to deliver everything technical, but this perspective of keeping things very simple, I think. And you know, even you're a believer of keeping your content and stuff very simple, right? You've done so many experiments which will just coming up. And but at the same time you're doing experiments, at the same time you've been talking about a lot of permutation and combinations, but keeping the things very simple. Do you agree?
yeah. I mean, people really try to out clever Google or try to out clever their competitors. And when they do that, they often miss the foundational things that have to be done. And you're much better off just doing the foundational things. And I think people, maybe the reason they don't do them is because they feel like they're too simple. It can't be that obvious, right? You know, it can't be that easy, but it often is, you know, and so you must do those simple things. And if you do the simple things well, you can be very successful without having to have any like super secrets in SEO. You know, you don't. And to be honest, the super secrets don't really exist.
and
Yeah,
and I think 80% of the things work when it's simple, right?
100%. That's right. That's exactly right.
Coming to a follow-up question on this, do you believe in 80-20 rule? Like if you,
Yeah, I mean that's just pretty much life, isn't it?
yeah, is it, do you agree with me?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much anything you want to talk about. That pretty much applies.
I heard your past, not this one, but a past talk of yours, in which you were mentioning about something like this, not exactly this, but it was related to the SEO. But you were telling that you have to keep, yeah, if you do things simple, if you, it's 80% of that is quite simple, the
Yeah,
content and stuff. If you keep your things very clean in the first phase of the
that's right.
page of the content, and it makes sense, right? Great. Now, let's step back a little. Can you tell me that from law school to SEO, these are quite very different things. Like you started as a trial attorney, you know, and then how did it turn up into an SEO?
Yeah, as a trial attorney, I was in court every day, and I kind of got to the point where I was looking at the other lawyers that are there. It's the same lawyers every day, but just the clients change, right?
Yes.
And I was looking at this group of like 55 to like 65-year-old dudes, and I was like, I was looking at my crystal ball, right? Like this is my future. And I was like, I don't want to be these guys. You know, I mean, they've been beaten down. Like it's a hard job. It's soul crushing. And I was like, you know, this is not just. I can't see myself doing this for the next 40 years. And that was so I didn't have SEO at the time, but I knew I needed to make a move. I needed to get out of that. And so I took a year off. Is really what I was. That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is a year off. I'm going to go to Asia. And I'm going to travel, and that year off turned into the rest of my life. Yeah, just never went back.
Wow. How did you first hear about SEO? Like, what's an SEO? What is search engine optimization? How did that came into the picture?
I got into things doing like website building.
Okay.
And
You
kind of
know,
like basically like subcontracting where I would get the leads and then I had a team that would build. And then through that, I learned about SEO because, you get the payment for the site and that's kind of it. And I was like, well, I'd like some recurring revenue
yeah.
after that. Then I heard about SEO as a thing. I was like, oh, we can offer that as like a side service.
And it goes on.
Exactly.
Like,
You paid forever, which
Right.
is what I was thinking. But it really turns out that I'm way better at SEO than I ever was at website building. In fact, I think I'm
Very similar story.
yeah. And then it was like, oh, and I liked it more, and I really enjoyed like the problem solving aspects of it, and what you get into, I excelled quickly. Like I had some really good results quickly.
Yeah.
And so that kind of then took me away from the website building and into just being an SEO.
Correct. You've been doing SEO experiments, right? And you're quite famous for that as well. And so, do you agree that you were an analytical person
Yeah.
in life? You do.
I think I've trained myself to be an analytical person,
Okay.
and I think you can do that. I think that's something you can work on and become. I don't know in my day to day if I'm as analytical as I would like, but it's something that you can definitely learn and apply to problem solving, to business problem solving, to anything you want to do.
For someone maybe like me who is, I have a personality like if I'm working, I am working day and night. If I'm not working, I'm just not working. The question is that it has actually led me to sometimes be very non-analytical
Mm.
at the time I'm, in that not in that zone. But I've just heard that you can learn to be analytical person. That's a very new thing actually for me. Any two, three steps you can tell me like how can we actually achieve that for the audience?
Uh,
Maybe anything. Yeah.
I'm not an educator, but
Yeah.
well, something that I talked about yesterday
Yes.
was that I regularly go through thought experiments,
Yes.
like the ship of Theseus, and I rarely go through logical fallacies.
Correct.
And in working through those types of problems, I think you can become, and because the answer you come to in the thought experiment isn't the point.
Yes.
The point is the process of getting to that answer. It's the framework you put together. And I think if you work through those types of things, then you can definitely develop a lot of good analytical thinking skills.
Do you think like in my agency, if I want to do like this kind of, I want to set an process of R&D, SOPs helps a lot?
You have to have SOPs. You don't want to reinvent the wheel,
Correct.
and you're going to end up wasting a lot of money with your employees reinventing the wheel every time if you don't have a tight SOP for them to follow. You want that there's like, this is what you need to do every time. You don't want them to they'll have to figure it out every time.
Correct.
That's just wasted time and money.
Correct.
So you want those SOPs. If you ever want to sell your agency, you have to have those SOPs.
Oh, okay. That's
Well, you-
also a
If
perspective.
you don't want, if you don't want to sell, then fine. And if you want to waste money, fine. But if somebody's going to buy your agency, they want to make sure that they can step in, and you don't have to be there.
Yeah, it keeps.
It'll keep going. It'll keep going at the same quality level
Right.
that you're providing, and you have to have SOPs for that.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Can you tell something about the infamous story, gibberish bait story? Can you tell something about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, that was just an SEO competition to rank a page for a term, and I decided. So 27 professionals entered that, and I decided when I was gonna do it, I was like, hey, let's try to make a point about something that it's not about good content. It is about math. In order to prove that, then I built an entire site in Lorem Ipsum, and the page that was ranking, and ultimately got to #1 in Google.
Correct. Well, it's a very big thing in India, you
Yeah.
know.
It was all in Lorem Ipsum, but I did the math on the target term, its variations, its contextual terms, and I just copied and pasted those into the Lorem Ipsum. Something that a lot of people don't know, though, is that that wasn't the first time I've done that. I did it before when we were just kind of running some experiments.
Okay.
And like, I think it was, I was just like, hey, I need quick content. I'll just use some Lorem Ipsum. And then I was playing with some stuff on different paid places on the page that rank, right?
Okay.
And I got a page to rank like #4 in Canada for a very specific term for a Canadian product. And I was like,
Yeah.
huh. I was like, wait a minute. And then so that kind of inspired me or gave me the idea then to do it for this competition, to do it all more, to prove the point that it's not good content. You need good content to convert,
Yeah, correct.
to get people to do what you want them to do. But
Yes.
when it comes to ranking, it is satisfying the math.
Yeah, yeah. There was a thing in India which happened, which I can relate with this. That I don't know if I should say this on the podcast. Maybe we have to cut it, but I can tell you, uh, like our prime minister. So when we searched which is the worst prime minister in India, it was coming up. So it was a lot of group of people who did that kind of SEO near the elections, and it works. This is happening.
Yeah.
It does work, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Now let's jump on to the lessons from your failures. Okay. So we've heard this story from your past talks and your content that your websites got de-indexed. I think your 20 of your test websites got de-indexed, right? So can you tell me something about it, that how did you actually adapt from this? What was the SEO landscape at that point?
What was great is I didn't have to adapt anything, because when Google did that, and it was punitive. They were taking down the sites. It validated everything I was saying. Like if I was talking nonsense or if I got lucky, they would have rolled their eyes and moved on.
Correct.
But instead, I showed how the algorithm works and how you can also learn how the algorithm works. And what they did to take down those test sites was was trying to punish me for it. And so I changed nothing. I doubled down and I went more into it. It was like, okay, we figured it out.
Yeah.
They don't like this because it works.
Correct.
And then I was like, okay, this is what we need to do. So I didn't adapt anything. I just kept going and
Very good. Very good answer.
yeah. And, yeah, no.
Right.
And now we're here today. And it still works.
It
You know,
still
it
works.
still works. Yeah.
Yes. You famously said Google's algorithm is just an algorithm, and it all comes down to math. Can you elaborate this?
I mean, that statement is the statement, you know, like when it comes to rank, it is about satisfying what Google's algorithm needs to see.
Mhm.
And that's it. And that's the number of times you're using certain terms in certain places. And that's all that it is. As I said before, you need good copy to convert, but
Yes.
good copy in and of itself will not help you rank.
Correct.
If you're missing the terms, then you know. But I do have something that I have a complaint about with people is where they say like there's SEO copy and good copy. To be honest with you, what I've found is that good copy is really close to the SEO copy, and it just needs a little tweaks.
Correct.
But I found like if you have this copy and it doesn't meet the math, then you didn't write good copy,
Yes.
and you're trying to make some excuse about what you did.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Good copy should be SEO copy.
Yes.
You know, and then from there, there's like small SEO tweaks.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
but yeah, at the end of the day, you do have to satisfy the algorithm.
I was just talking a little. I think it's a very stupid example I'm going to take, but maybe I could make you relate that. Like, it's like a very good food. Like it has a perfect salt, it has perfect spice. Your plate has perfect everything. You just don't do one thing, and just use, if you like salt, you just cannot put only salt in your plate, right? Has to be perfect balance. And I think that's how it works in SEO right now.
Mhm.
It should be perfectly balanced. Everything should be,
Yeah.
and the math is perfect. If
Yeah.
it is, if it is delicious, that means it's good SEO.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, right?
I'm with you. Yeah. I think that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell me about the patent for SEO testing? Not many people can say that they hold patents for testing. Can you tell me anything about that?
Yeah. Ultimately, I think I just patented the scientific method. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I did anything crazy, but it's the method that I use for testing to see if something is or is not a ranking factor.
Yes.
And Google, that's putting up test pages, getting them an index, tweaking one thing on the page. That's really what it is. It's just
Did you get any problem while the patents were happening? Like any backslash on this?
no. Honestly, it was done initially just for marketing
Wow.
to be like patent pending, and then we got the patent,
Oh,
and then it came through. Yeah. So
very
it was more of a marketing ploy that turned out to work better than we anticipated.
Wow. Very nice.
Yeah.
You need to be very smart with the things. It's not only about good SEO. I think, and I've seen with all the entrepreneurs and speakers especially, and even you, that it's not just SEO, it's actually about good strategy. I think strategy and strategic planning, and picking up the opportunity. I think good SEOs have been doing this, and that is why I think we're sitting together. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because that is why I want a podcast with you, because
All right.
this is how you think. It's not just SEO, right? It's a lot of other things, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah.
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 Okay. Can you tell me about the 400 SEO tests you've been doing, and are the results still like surprise you sometimes?
I'm an old bunny, so there's not a lot that surprises me
Okay.
anymore. But most of the tests that I run, all the tests that I run, really are to answer a question that I have.
Yeah.
Usually about a client that's done something, or hey, we need to know this or that. So they're not really like revolutionary, but it's just like it helps us make a better decision about something. So it's not like, oh, we figured out some super secret. It's just like, what's the best approach? Now, how should we do this or that?
Right.
Is the vast majority of the tests that I run. So people are like, what's the craziest thing? And I'm like, I don't really have too much that's crazy because it's practical. You know, we just need to know if we need to put like something here or there on a page, and we ran a test to see what produces a better result.
But isn't it like it becomes a little expensive running such experiments? And don't you think that it's a lot of cost involved in this?
You know, nah. I mean, to run a test, it's under $100, and if you've got a client that's paying you even $500, like I mean, you can take that out of a $500 budget,
Right.
to make a better decision.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most, because you just need a domain
Yeah.
and you've got your WordPress template, and then you're throwing up pages from there. That's not expensive.
Just follow-up question to this. And the talk I heard, and I really wanted to ask you this actually personally. I'm glad it came up. You said that the future is about actually low ticket clients, like
The near term future.
yeah. It would be about like $500 to $1,000
Yeah.
client, and that's what I've been doing since a very long time.
Mm.
I just correct me now. Now we were thinking that we will move toward very high ticket. We will maybe take clients with 5,000, 6,000, $10,000, but not work with like maybe low ticket clients. But after this, trying to do the transitions, actually the conversions has gone down for
Yeah.
me, because now I've seen that with the market trend is going towards what you just said, and now I could relate after the talk that are we doing wrong that we're going toward the high ticket segment, and now the market is more focused on the low ticket segment. Can you guide me right on this?
Something I might think about, if you want to go from, let's say you're doing $1,000 clients and you want $5,000 clients, right? There's a longer lead time to get that $5,000 client. So if you want to make that shift, you really have to think you're going to have a year of flat revenue or so, where you lose, you know, 1,000, and in that time you replace them with 5,000.
Exactly where I am today. This is the flat.
And so you're going to be flat for about a year as you make that transition. So that's totally normal. So
Okay.
if you're making that transition and that's where you want to go, and if you have a mature agency, which I think
Yeah.
you have,
Yes.
it's okay to transition out of. When I was talking about the opportunity for, and what I think for 2025 is that there are going to be a lot of small businesses that need SEO services. Their budgets are not going to be very big, and there are not enough service providers for them. This is an opportunity for people that haven't done any of this to move in.
Yes.
If you're at the point though where like, hey, we're mature and we're moving on, and you're making that transition, that's totally fine. But just you don't stress.
Okay.
Like that's just how it works.
Okay.
Where
Okay.
you lose the 4 or 5, you replace with 1. The thing is, when you do that, when you lose those 4 or 5, your profit margin goes up, because when you're servicing one client, it's much more valuable.
Yes, that's what we were.
Your profit margin goes up significantly.
Exactly.
So what you're going to have is a pretty flat year in revenue, but your profit margin is going to go up, and then you're going to be poised for the next year. Once you've kind of made that transition, then all of your clients are 3,000, 5,000, 8,000, whatever, and you're comfortable in the lead time to land those clients.
Yeah.
And what you've created, and your profit margin will definitely go up.
Yes, because the conversions initially, we are into local businesses and stuff. We mostly do that. So yes, we were like facing that. The flat. You exactly bang on right. You nailed it. I can.
That's
totally
normal.
relate.
That's expected. It's okay.
Right. Yeah. And the second thing is that yes, now the processes are to be built for those kinds of clients. So yes, the transition is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take more suggestions from you after this podcast. Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much. And moving forward, yeah. Okay.
Alright, time for a sponsor break. This episode is proudly sponsored by Kings Digital, the marketing agency that I, your host, Gundeep Singh co-founded. At Kings Digital, we specialize into scaling businesses, optimizing growth strategies, and turning your ideas into brands that people can't stop talking about. You might be thinking self-promotion in your own podcast? Well, that's quite bold. That's because that's exactly what we do for our client. Bold strategies that bring results. So if you're a business owner or an agency who wants to level up your marketing, your processes, whether it's SEO, ads, social media, performance marketing, we're building a killer brand presence for you. If you want us to audit your website or your ads campaign, just fill up the form below and we'll get back to you. Trust me, if we're good enough to sponsor ourselves, we're probably good enough to help you crush your goals. Alright, that's enough of us now. Now let's get back to the show.
I'll start with Page Optimizer Pro. How did that idea come to you?
We were doing it in the agency. We were doing it by hand, and we figured out a way to get pages to rank better. But we were doing it by hand, and that's not scalable.
Correct.
So then we figured out a way to do it, with a bot and scrapers and stuff like that. And then I was just casually showing this to some SEO friends, like, would you like this? Would you pay for this? And that's a key when you're trying to get into SaaS, is you have to solve a problem. And I think it's solving a problem that you have is the best thing, because if it's your problem, people like you probably have that problem. But then you need to do some market research and just have to ask people like, would you pay to solve this problem?
Correct.
Because sometimes people are like, yeah, I mean, I have that problem, but it's not worth $50 or it's not worth 20. Like, and it's like, then that's okay.
Yes.
But what we found was like, hey, do you have this problem? Yes, I have this problem. Would you pay this amount for it? And like, yeah, I would. And that then like was like, okay, I think we've got something that we need to develop. And so that's how that all kind of came up. So we solved the problem that we had within the agency. We got it to work, and we got it to work consistently and successfully, and then asked other people like, what do you think? Yeah.
Right.
And then that was a transition. But that took about a year from like from, us putting it together and solving it, then turning it into something that was actually online, to then some market research, to then just giving away for free.
Yes.
I mean, that was all about a year.
Yes.
Before we really then started charging and turned it into the tool that it is.
So, is it a tool for the beginners, or would you say it is tool for more professional or more pros?
So we've got two versions of the tool essentially, and the main version is this what we call the pro version, and that's meant for anybody.
Okay.
It's kind of like having a high level SEO looking over your shoulder. We also don't, and I think we're one of the few tools that does this, is that we give all the data.
Yes.
And so that's on the custom side. So if you're an SEO and you know your situation, you can customize it so you can get the data as you want to see it. But we also just show all the data. This confuses people. So sometimes when they're like, oh, I've got this content brief side, but am I missing secrets? Kind of thing. And it's like, you're not. You're really not.
Yes.
Like if you're doing that, you're doing effective SEO. We provide all that data because there are some people that really
needed it. Yes.
And they know what they're doing.
Correct.
And that's fun.
Yes.
And they know their very specific situation, and we can give them that data. But what happens is for like, especially like novice SEOs or like small business people that aren't SEOs, is they feel like they're missing out, and it's like, you're not. Here it is. This will be great. But they're like, but there's all this other data over here. Do I need to? And it's like, no, you really don't. You're fine. That's kind of and I always want to give that data, but it kind of runs us into this problem where like we then have people that it's hard like for new people or non-SEOs to use.
Yes. Very well. Now I want to talk about IMG. It's also one of my favorite, to be very honest. It says, I was always thinking that there should be something like, Netflix for SEO, and it is actually Netflix for SEO.
I was very uncomfortable with that tagline, by the way. I had to fight the marketing team on that. And I was like, look, if it gets sued, you're paying it.
It's I was thinking that there was nothing like this. You're the first mover, I think, in this. There might be.
We tried to make it accessible content, essentially, that it was easy to access content, and in a way, when you think about what on Netflix, there are all those movie options. Kind of depending on what you want or what you need, there's a category for you to go in and get something useful. That was kind of where we're at. So I think the tagline is correct. I was a little uncomfortable with it.
No, but it's actually how you make people understand it is actually what, It's very easy. Okay, it's in just tagline, it's easily marketed actually. That's okay. At the end, money matters. At the end, sales matters. That's fine. But yeah, it has actually helped me a lot. So I have done I've done that real estate course because I'm into real estate. Darby Ham.
Yeah.
I've done her course. I've done Julian Goldie's course from it. I have seen your past all the because I think you've also partnered with the conferences, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
we try to bring some conference talks in as well, which is pretty cool.
That was I was like wow. So that's actually a very good thing, and I always look at the coming soon, and I'm like, this is coming. Yeah. So that's very good. So how is it? How the synergies work with the creators? Does that creators get maybe if you want to comfortably explain?
Oh yeah. So we tell the creators, you're gonna make tens of dollars, but for the creators, almost everybody that we get, they're on the way up.
Okay.
So they've done something very successful in a niche, right?
Correct.
And then they want to grow their brand.
Correct.
And they don't really have a platform to grow their brand, and we provide that for them, so they get exposure to our entire audience.
Yes.
So there are often people that are on the way up. So the nice thing about that is that they're sharing things that they're doing right now.
Yes.
So it's usually very practical. It's very this is real because they are actually doing it.
Yes.
And they just don't have a big name yet. And this allows them. So a lot of people, they'll do their first course with us, and then they'll do their second course on their own. So like we do like with a Spotify model where they get paid by how many people are watching.
Yeah.
And admittedly, it's not as much as you would get if you did your own course and got exposure. But a lot of the people, though, if they tried to launch their own course now, they would get zero sales because nobody knows who they are. So we can help kind of put them on the map, get them exposure,
Yes.
get them out there, and then they can move on from us. So it's actually kind of fun that we get people on the way up
Yeah.
who are working hard.
Correct.
And they're actually doing the SEO, and then that's what we can provide
Very good.
to the people that subscribe to IMG.
Very good. Do you wish to also add people like apart from SEO, maybe experts, maybe from advertisement, maybe?
We have a little bit of that. I mean, we've got some Google ad stuff, some
I've
Facebook
seen
ad
that.
stuff. Like that is there. It is. I don't know how advanced it is. On that side of things, I don't think I've watched those courses, so I can't. Maybe I should watch those.
But I'll tell you my suggestion. Maybe you obviously your marketing or backend team would be more inclined towards the other things. But I would highly suggest that you can do it because I've seen that demand because obviously for them also this is nothing like that.
Yeah.
Rather than ripping off and finding courses in a very unlegitimate way, this is the best way to do it. Actually, to be very honest, we can find courses, but those ways are very unlegitimate. And I always urge people that a creator's effort is all gone to zero if people actually do piracy, right?
Yeah.
So this is a very legitimate way, the way you've done it, and I really appreciate you because the creators are really it's very valuable for the creators, I would say. And the part you've explained that it's a platform where you start,
Yep.
where you were doing something and then he
Not
gave you
taken
that
out,
because
yep.
the audience is quite big now. I've seen, even I'm a subscriber.
Yeah.
So yes, I would say that. But yeah, you can. I would really want to see more stuff, ads, marketing, because we are.
I'll talk to the team about it. I'll talk to the team about it.
We my partner was like, yeah, why they do not have this? I want to see ad courses, and there's only one. I tell you,
Okay. You know more than I know there. That's great. Yeah.
they did that one too.
Sounds good.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's lovely. It's very good.
Thank you.
And the community part is also good. I think that's very good. I've been quite active on that.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I now I want to talk about your philosophy more. Okay. So you talk about content first ranking, right? One of your courses emphasizes ranking without link building. So your content is your sole purpose, right? Can you elaborate that and
I think there's a lot of opportunity where you can beat your competitors through better research and through better planning and through better organization. And I like to emphasize that because if you do that, if you take that type of approach, you're going to do a lot of less SEO. You're going to rank with minimal SEO. And if you do that, that makes you less susceptible to Google updates.
Okay.
And so for super hard things, it can't take you all the way. You will need backlinks, you will need other things, but there's a lot that you can do without that to get a lot of success. And the more of that you do, and the less of external stuff you do, or those other signals or heavier SEO that you do, the less chance you'll have of Google taking anything away from you. So I like to take that as a first layer approach, a foundational approach.
Okay.
It probably can't get you all the way there, but it can get you a long way.
A long way, yes.
A real long way.
Yes.
And it's just going to help you get better sites that are evergreen, that are less susceptible to those updates, that have less volatility, that can go for the long term. And so that's why I like that as kind of like a foundational approach. After that, and that approach is also complementary to anything. Like if you know something that works, you can just put that on top of this.
Yes.
But do this type of research first, find these types of pages, find this type of approach, and then add in anything else you like after that.
Correct. Very well. Okay, I wanted you to debug one SEO myth when you hear it's like, this is bullshit. Anything you want to...
It's just anything is dead. Fill in the blank. This is dead. Links are dead. Content is dead. SEO is dead. Like you always hear these kind of things like this thing is dead.
Okay.
They're not.
Yeah, nothing's dead.
Nothing is dead. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like it is just not. And anytime anybody makes that kind of statement, it's like that person's an idiot. I mean, that person's trying to get clicks. Is what they're doing. They're not an idiot. They're actually pretty smart. They're trying to get clicks. But anyone says blah blah is dead,
Yeah.
it's just not true. But I honestly hope in those situations that my competitors believe them, because then there's usually a space to move right into. Like that's the thing.
Yes,
So
yes.
I hope my competitors believe it. Anytime you hear like da 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 is dead, that's a problem. All right.
You may believe it. I won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Now coming to the AI part. What do you think about the AI wave and what's your take on content and AI?
AI is a tool.
Okay.
And it's a tool that you should use. It can speed up the process for a lot of things, but AI can't do SEO.
Yes.
Very well. That's just it. And so you want to use it as a tool that it is, but you need to understand the framework of the why of what you're doing, because then you're just using that tool to accomplish that end. It can't do the SEO for you. It can't drive your SEO forward.
Very well.
So use it as a tool, take advantage of it, but
So maybe use it more on the productivity side of
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
getting things done faster.
yeah, that's right.
Maybe helping you in creating maybe outlines.
That's right.
And maybe helping your maybe within your SOPs, in your process, even in your content, but in a way that it makes your process fast.
That's right.
But yes, human and us, we are required.
That's right. That's right.
Very good. Okay. And what do you think about the AI search engines like ChatGPT, Perplexity? Do you think that we should do something special to rank in them? Because that's also a market now and it's growing, I think.
Did you hear that thud over there?
Yeah.
That was the sound of nobody using them, like how flat they fell when they launched. Nobody's using them right now. Like it's like 0.0001% of all search. The only people that are using it are nerds like you and me.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we think like, oh, because we like it or we use it, everybody must be using it.
But it's very less. Yeah.
No, they're not. My dad is 66 years old. His wife is 67. I call them all the time and ask like, hey, what do you think of those new features in Google? And they're like, what new features in Google? I'm like, hey, are you guys using any like, AI search, like, ChatGPT search or like Perplexity? They're like, should we? We don't even know what this is. And I'm like, okay, we're fine.
Exactly.
So I always want to see like kind of what the general public, and then they're regular users of Google, right? This is what they do. Like
Another experiment.
yeah, so I'm not overly stressed out.
Okay.
There will be changes or things that we need to adjust about our approach for sure. And I don't want to make light of that, but I'm not on the hype train just yet for all of that stuff until Janice, my dad's wife, starts using it. Then I'll think about like, all right, maybe all right, Janice is there. I have like a Janice standard. You can like if Janice is there, then okay, I'll do something about it.
And she's famous now. Very good. Very good. Okay. Your predictions on SEO 2030, what would it be?
2030.
Yeah.
That's a great question. As long as there is an algorithm that's making the choices, there will be SEO.
No.
And I don't see that going away in 5 years. So there will be an algorithm. There might be things we need to adjust. There are going to be different tools. There might be different problems. The LLMs we have now will probably not be the LLMs we have in 5 years anyway. So when people are like, oh, we need to adjust for this, this, and this LLM's probably going to die in 2 years because something bigger and better is going to come along, right? And you have to redo or refocus or whatever. So as long as there's an algorithm, we're good. I don't see that going away in the next, not 5 years, not even 15 years or 20 years, And by then we're retired and rich anyway, so it's nothing you have to worry about, right?
Maybe more animals coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now let's do fun rapid fire round.
Okay, fire away.
Yeah. What's the most ridiculous SEO advice you've ever heard?
I don't know. There's a lot of like ivory tower SEO that you just know that somebody just hasn't done it, and so I don't know the most ridiculous though. I'm sorry, I don't have a great answer on that, but yeah, I don't know.
Maybe SEO is dead.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. SEO is dead. Or yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever is dead, you need to change what you're doing. You need to get out of it because that is ridiculous advice. You're right.
We just actually talk about it.
Yeah.
True. Okay. One experiment you've always wanted to try but you haven't yet.
Well, one thing that we struggle with on testing is user metrics. Like getting the user metrics, because I think they require a concurrent factor. Like something else has to be in play before Google will measure it, and it's really hard to do that in a test environment.
Yes.
Because we need to trigger that first thing first,
The data,
and it's hard to trigger that first thing in order to test the user metrics. Because I think there's something there, but it's really hard to do in a test environment. We can't figure it out yet. So if we could figure it out, that'd be great. We're trying.
Okay.
But that'd be something that I would like to do, but just can't right now.
I'll talk about this. I think I'll have some ideas. Yeah. Okay. If you could only use one SEO tool for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Wow. But and now that we actually have our keyword research part of things, the Page Optimizer Pro is pretty complete. Especially when we're talking about like doing content only or like that portion of it.
Yes.
It can take care of pretty much all of that for you now. So I'll roll with that one.
When would I get the merchandise for?
Yeah, well, we'll send you. Oh, you want it? I'll send you something. Yeah. I'll send you a T-shirt.
Thank you.
We might have a coffee mug or something too.
Yes, obviously, of course. What's your favorite non-SEO hobby that keeps your creativity flowing?
Well, you know, like in the talk I talked about, like I work through logical fallacies. I'm a nerd, so I find them fun, but it's also very useful because you realize the arguments that people make are usually pretty terrible.
Yeah.
And when you hear that bad argument, then you know you need more proof.
Yes.
So that helps me a lot to stay pretty sharp.
And that makes you more analytical.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very well. A historical figure you'd love to spend time with and why?
My favorite scientist of all time is Haley. He's from the 1700s. Haley's Comet is named after him. He brilliant man, did a lot, but I think his special skill was that other scientists liked him. You know, other scientists, like he was smart enough that they were cool to talk with, but also like he had a personality that worked. And so like a lot of brilliant people, like Newton, for example, was a terrible person, right? Nobody liked him. Newton would talk to Haley. He gave him the time of the day, and Haley is actually the one that caused like the Principia of Mathematica, which is one of the originators of calculus to be made, because he made that happen. He actually got the money for it to be, so that Newton could work on it. He got the money to print it, but he also encouraged Newton to do it. And also Newton, like the things that we know from Newton, Haley went to like, hey buddy, we need some help. And then Newton would do it.
Underrated.
Yes, but so his emotional quality allowed him to bring scientists together to get stuff done. And on top of that, he was brilliant himself. You know, he did a lot of great things, but I think one of his most amazing skills was being super smart and actually being emotional.
Wow.
And bringing people together. And that really pushed science forward just for being a cool dude. You know, just for being a nice person, just for people that might want to hang out with him. And that caused science to go forward, right? And mathematics to go forward.
But that exactly what you like. Your nature is very much similar in SEO in today's world.
Maybe that's why I want to meet him, right? I want to.
Very. I can very much. You go in depth, and I would say that you very much similar.
Oh, cheers! Thank you very much.
It's true. Very well. I'll read more about him. I know about the Halley's Comet. Everybody knows. But yes, not more than that. I will definitely read about it more. Very well. Okay. Your favorite animal and give 3 reasons why.
I don't know if I have 3 reasons, but my favorite animal is a giraffe. And the main reason is that it shouldn't be. You know, a giraffe has no purpose other than just being a giraffe. And they're amazing. I mean, they're there for some reason, doing giraffe things. I think they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing.
What's the strangest niche you ever optimized a site for?
I mean, we have gotten into spicy niches. One thing that was kind of funny was there's like monster.com, like a jobs platform.
I know, yes.
There's a jobs platform for spicy stuff.
Oh.
And they needed an audit. And they're a huge website. So you've got the actors on one side, you've got the films on the other side, and they connect with each other. It was pretty funny. We did a pretty comprehensive audit for it. And
Wow. It was fun?
yeah, I mean, what's great though is, you know, the majority of the people that are on my staff are female. And so before we took the job, I was like, hey guys, we got a bid here. Is everybody pretty chill with this? And if anybody has a problem, we won't take it. But everybody was fine with it. It wasn't terrible as he goes, but that was kind of funny. And
sometimes it becomes a little awkward, but that's also fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, very good.
It was just a site audit. We weren't doing their SEO.
Okay. Your go-to guilty pleasure when you're taking a break from work?
So in England on like BBC or some of their other channels, they do crime drama. I love them all. But the ones that I love the most though are not like the serious ones. They're the ones where like the detective is funny or weird or quirky.
You see that psycho, there's a...
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I'm like. Death in Paradise or Monk in the US, like it's like murder is hilarious. Like I love those shows. They're terrible. No one should watch them, except everyone should watch them, and I love them.
Wow. I think I've got a very similar taste here. I'll send you my list.
Okay.
No, watching detective stuff is very much fun.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be it can and when it's funny, it's you never get bored.
Exactly. So you know, when I'm working, I'll just put something like that on a TV and just let it go, and then I'll just work with that. And instead of like listening to music, I'm like watching.
Yeah, because it's passive.
I'm watching like a detective show where the detective's an idiot. And
You should watch Psych.
yeah, I love Psych. I've watched all the episodes.
It's amazing.
I've watched them all twice.
I love it too. Very good. What's the most unexpected place you found inspiration for an SEO strategy?
I don't think I have an answer to this one. I'm not
Maybe an inspirational place overall inspirational place.
sure. Like a strategy though, I don't know.
But overall inspirational, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have one for that. I'm sorry.
Maybe Chang.
Yeah. Chiang Mai. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Very good. I'm helping you with the answers. Okay. If you weren't doing SEO, what career do you think you would be into?
I love the magic of movies and the magic of TV. And I've always kind of thought like, if I could go back and be like, 19 and broke and I could work 24 hours a day, maybe I would go and try to break into that industry. Like that would,
And you would do good.
I could do it now. But like if I was young and hustling and where you can like do that and to kind of try to get into production on the production side of things, I think that would be pretty cool.
You should. I would say you should still do it.
Okay.
Okay. Describe your ideal day in Chiang Mai.
I get my ideal day a lot here. I often get to have lunch with, I get up in the morning, do some work, and then I'll have lunch with a great SEO, a great friend. I think, and then in the afternoon, we might go get some afternoon drinks with another great SEO. And then in the evening, we'll go to a chef's table with like Matt Diggity and our other friends that are SEOs and crushing it. And we'll do like a chef's table together and talk some more SEO. And it's been a good day. Good meals, good drinks, good friends. Yeah, I give that a lot here.
Who's the most funniest in the whole group of SEOs?
Me.
Yeah, that's true.
So, what's great is the whole group is hilarious. Like the whole group is hilarious. There are times when I've been laughing so hard, like I'm wheezing, but like everyone, the thing is like, they're all sharp guys.
Yes.
They're all sharp guys. They're all personable,
Correct.
and they also, they care about people. So like, they like to be around people.
Yeah.
And then they're really, really funny.
Yeah.
Like it's a really funny group.
So and who's the most serious out of them?
I mean, everyone has like an appropriate level of seriousness. I don't think there's one person.
Maybe introvert, maybe not speaking that much.
Matt Diggity is very introverted.
Yeah.
Like for him to get on stage and do that kind of stuff is very difficult for him, and I think he would much prefer to not do that. So for him to create a conference is hilarious. You think about like how he is a very reserved
Correct.
person. So it's amazing that he's had such success with putting this conference together. When
That's very obvious actually.
Yeah.
But when he comes on YouTube, when he talks, it's
Yep.
like
Yeah.
it's
But-
very
but
complete. But he's mastered that, I think.
But his personality is actually very reserved.
Yes.
He's very quiet.
Yeah.
And I think we were friends for 2 years before I realized we were. He really liked me.
Opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. Wow. I think that's very amazing to know. So what's next? What's your next experiment in pipeline? What you're planning to do next?
Right now my focus is on the software. We just released some features and some new products. We've got some more coming out, and so the stuff that I'm doing is all kind of focused on that, and it's going really well.
Any advice for the aspiring SEOs?
You got to do SEO. They're worrying about SEO and and doing SEO are two different things. Thinking about SEO and doing SEO are two different things. You can know something,
It's
different from doing it.
yeah, jumping from that parachute fall.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, and when you're just up, you just have to do it, and then you do it.
That's right.
It's completely different.
That's
thing,
right. So you got to do it.
Yeah. Well, nice. I think that was a very, very inspiring podcast. Thank you so much. And I would really urge the audience to use Page Optimizer Pro and also subscribe for the IMG. And anything for the audience? Maybe you want to give anything? Maybe Maybe a Black Friday deal, maybe?
Oh, we do have them. I don't know what it is. No, actually, if you go to pageoptimizers.pro and then we have live support,
Yeah.
those are humans. That's not an AI bot.
Yeah.
You can ask them for the Black Friday promo codes and they'll give it to you.
Perfect. Even I'll put up some links. I'll talk to the
That's
team.
perfect. That's
I'll get some links and then we'll put up. Thank you so much for your time. It's very much valuable.
This
It's
was
the
a
most,
real pleasure.
podcast where I've laughed. I've had fun. It's the most funny podcast I've done. Yesterday I was doing podcast with Irfan Azimi. I've done with Corey, and I have to be very serious in the podcast.
Those are serious dudes.
Yeah. So I have to be. Irfan is very different. He is serious, but he's funny at the same time. He's a very different personality. But yeah, I have to be a little careful, especially with with Corey. It has to be very different. It's a completely different thing. He's become a very good friend of mine. But this was fun. I had
That's
a lot
great.
of fun.
Yeah, I had a great time too. Thank you so much.
I'm a very good friend of yours.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you for sticking till the end of the conversation with us. We hope you found as much value as we did while creating it. If you enjoyed the podcast and want us to bring more such influential guests, then please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Honestly, each like and subscribe help us keep going. It keeps us motivated to make such content which is filled with insights and strategies for you. If you enjoyed the podcast and want us to bring more such influential guests, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Honestly, each like or a subscribe help us keep going and make such content which is filled with insights and valuable knowledge for you. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Anything you would like to tell us about the podcast? Whom do you want to see in the next podcast? And what kind of questions do you want to ask? And hey, just don't keep the conversation with yourself. Share this podcast with at least one person, can be a friend, colleague, or a family member, or anyone you think can benefit from learning something valuable or getting a fresh perspective. After all, one conversation, one perspective can truly change someone's life. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode of the Business Playbook by Gundeep.